Hi, welcome to today's ride. We've got a lovely challenging session ahead of us today. So we're going to be working some tempo, we're going to be working some strength intervals, and if you want to, we're going to be working some really heavy little sprints at the end. So if you're ready, make sure you've got something to drink, make sure you've got a towel if you need it, and then let's get ready in 3, 2, 1. So a lovely little warm up, flat section, get you good and warm, ready for those lovely challenges ahead. So today's ride is called 300, 600, 900 and this is one of my clients' favourites. I've kind of adapted it especially for you today. So I know that this is a really lovely ride and I hope you enjoy it too. So let's get you settled onto the bike. Nice and soft onto the hands, little bend at the elbows, keeping the tension up out of the shoulders. Pull them back and down to keep the chest open. Big deep breaths in. Hold for 1. Exhale through the mouth. So comfy on the hands. Let's start to move to the saddle. Make sure your bum bones are supported. A little shimmy back maybe if you need to. Maybe rotate those hips. Shouldn't have too much pressure onto the hands. Working down into the legs. Pretty much in line if you can. Don't worry too much if your knees are slightly out or slightly in. That's absolutely fine, your physiology is dictating that. Foot nice and neutral at the bottom of the stroke. Try not to overly dip the toes. There's 2 effects. It will affect your power output and you will also shorten all the muscles up the back of the leg. So try and keep it nice and neutral at the bottom of the stroke. So you probably noticed as we get into the ride today, I'm not changing gear on my bike. That's because I've got some files on my computer here that are driving my smart trainer and auto setting the power output. If you're interested in those files, they are available and we can give you more details of that at the end of the workout. In terms of leg speed today, I'll give you some little pointers, but it's up to you to pretty much settle into your own leg speed rhythm that you're comfortable with. So some people favour a high leg speed and some people tend to tap into the power and strength of the legs, slightly lower leg speed. So keeping a lovely smooth tempo here. Heart rate numbers and intensity and effort levels are going to be on this side of the screen here, very handily, so you can follow along with those. If there's anything particular different happening, I'll give you the cues. So we're going to just continue along here. And I'd like you to slowly increase that leg speed. Got a cadence meter on your bike, on your computer. Try and bring it up to 9,500 RPM if you can. Make sure you've got enough gear on to push against. Hold it there, another 20 seconds. If you want to go down to the drops, no problem, make sure you're not compromising the foot position. Keeping the chest open, try not to sag over the bike. Big deep breaths. And bring it back down. That should get your heart rate going. Another one coming up in about 45 seconds. So any of these recovery phases, get hold of the heart rate. So are you feeling good today? Legs feeling strong? Should be warming up a little bit. By the time we hit the first 300 seconds of effort. So the first 300 seconds is a speed interval. The legs should be good and warm after that, ready to hit the hills. Okay, next little intensity change. We're gonna keep the same gear, but we're going to increase the leg speed. I'm just going to go down to my drops in anticipation and feed it in. Nice and smooth at 100 RPM. If you don't want to go down to the drops, and to be honest, indoors there's no real advantage to doing this because there's no aero advantage. But obviously if you want to just sit into the drops because that's your most comfortable position, just go ahead. If you want to stay up here, also no problem. Okay, I'm going to slow the tempo down a little bit. So we've got about another 30 seconds before we hit your first speed section. So you should have some nice amount of gear on here to push against. So we're going to go all out with these, not holding back. They are fairly challenging, but that's good, right? Are you ready? 300 seconds of speed coming up. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm finding this quite hard already, right? This is challenging, I'm not holding back. I'm getting warm already. Haven't got too much gear on the bike. Shouldn't feel anything in the knees just yet. So just check that position. Check you're good and comfortable. So why are we working the speed? Some of you might not normally bring up your leg speed. You might just kind of plod along at a much slower rate with the leg speed. That's absolutely fine. But we're using different muscle fibers. So it's good every now and again to just switch it around a little bit and change your pace. If you're not feeling very great at a certain part of your ride, it's a nice little trick. Just change your leg speed a little bit. Give yourself a break, take the gear off. You shouldn't drop too much power and just hang out there just for a little while. So I'm just going to change my position. So we're promoting aerobic adaptations here by working in this tempo section. And we're pulling in some lesser used muscle fibers, type 2A if you're interested. And they come into play when the fatigue starts to set in. We're also developing your muscular endurance. So a little check-in, how are you feeling? If you're really not starting to breathe a little bit heavier, you do one of two things. First thing, add a little bit of gear. Or second thing, up the leg speed just a little bit. So I'm currently at 97 RPM. Max RPM, 110, no more. So we'll talk about minimum RPM a little bit later, but no more than 100. Are you getting warm out there? Certainly getting warm in here. So on your indoor setup, you've probably got loads of fans blowing on you, and I haven't, because I don't want to upset my recording. So I'm going to get really warm in here. But if you need to use a fan when you're doing an indoor workout, or opening all the windows, that would be really great. It's getting warm. So I'm kind of wishing I'd opened my windows already, but never mind. Holding it there. 2 minutes to go. So 3 minutes done. Keeping it nice and fluid. If your leg speed or cadence drops, just kind of do a quick reset and go, okay, and try and bring it back up again. So you shouldn't have so much gear on your bike that you're feeling the lactate flooding the muscles. We're nowhere near that. All good. Also got studio lights on. It's like an oven in here. It's good hot weather condition in mind, right? So you have got a block of recovery in 1 minute's time. Keep the control, keep the focus. It's going to get tough. Use that breathing to keep hold of your effort. About 30 seconds to go. So hips should be nice and stable on the saddle. Soft on the hands. Try not to overgrip the handlebars, because that tension is going to flow up into the shoulders. Nearly there. Recovery's coming. And drop the gear, drop the leg speed. So this is the point at which you can adjust your position on the bike. If you're getting overly heated, maybe you can ask someone to open the windows for you. Or put a fan on, any of the above. I'm about to get a whole lot happier. Because let's face it can get quite challenging when you're indoors. You haven't got that lovely wind blowing in your face. Fantastic. Maybe take a little drink as the heart rate starts to come down and you recover. Give yourself a little break posture-wise. Cheers, everybody. How you doing? Settling in. So we're going to drop the tempo and we're going to move up into some lactate threshold intervals on a climb. So not overly steep, but challenging enough. So 600 seconds of climbing. Do your maths, you can work out how long that is. Nothing. You're good for it. Your legs are good for it. So working at lactate threshold, we're improving your body's ability to what we call shuttle. Okay, slowing it down, 30 seconds before we jump in. Working your body's ability to shuttle the lactate from the working muscles to different parts of the body so you can use it as fuel, as an energy source. Okay, in 10 seconds, we're going to start at 600 seconds of effort. So leg speed's dropped, gear is on, ready to hit it. Let's go. 45 seconds for the first interval. In terms of climbing leg speed, certainly don't want to be 90 RPM. It's way too high. Where you sit in between 90 and 60 RPM is up to you. Don't drop much below 65. As you start to drop below 60, you're going to have to really load the gear up. Keep going, folks. Nearly there. So when we come on to the next block of intervals and we've got some heavier resistance, just be mindful as you load that extra gear of your knees. If you get any knee irritation, maybe check your bike setup that you're not too far forwards and overstressing the front of the knee. And it's warm. Next interval is coming in about 10 seconds. So on the recovery phases, breathe deep, get the control, so you're ready to go. Hit it, load up. So working the muscular strength here. So the first blocks of intervals are fairly short, and they're going to get a bit longer as we get deeper into the 600 seconds. So don't overly stress about trying to get your heart rate down to the predicted or to the ideal heart rate on the recovery phases. As your fitness improves, you'll recover quicker and your heart rate will come down quicker. Nearly done with this one. And let that gear go. Minute recovery. If you want to take a little posture break here, you can pop up out the saddle. Stay seated, let the gear go, and breathe deep to recover. Are you getting warm? You should be getting warm. Definitely getting warm. So we've gone to light glow stage. We've got a few stages to go. Light glow stage here. Next intervals come in about 20 seconds. So don't fear the efforts, embrace them. I kind of look forward to them, but then I'm a bit weird. Okay, has been said a number of times. Bit of effort, load on. Let's go. Oh, sweat started dripping off the nose already. Keeping that effort smooth as we climb and enjoy. "15 seconds to go. How are you enjoying this little climb? Have you got time to look at the scenery? Or are you just head down, just going for it? And a minute recovery. So you're kind of regretting you haven't got a towel. See, I blame you. I wasn't planning on working that hard today. It's definitely your fault. Going in 30 seconds. Check in with the body, how you're feeling, got some recovery going. More deep breathing needed. Get the heart rate down. So remember, check out your numbers here. Check out the intensity level and the gearing to give you an indication of how hard you should be working. Next effort coming. Let's do it. Oh, you're looking so good, by the way. I'm liking what I see. It's just a shame we're not all in the same room. Way more fun. But this is second best, but it'll do. It'll do for now. So from glorious high definition, you can see I'm working hard. And recover. We're halfway through. Time to celebrate. Quick transition. And these intervals are longer. We're going to go in 10 seconds. Let's push to the end. Let's do it. Let that music lift you up. Give you the inspiration you need to drive all the way. Kind of comfy here actually. This is nice, just hanging out on the drops. No effort. Easy. So you shouldn't be feeling too easy, it should be fairly challenging here. Staying below lactate threshold. So able to clamp your mouth. Just breathing in and out through your nose, but just about holding on to it. You've got a minute to go. Keep smiling. If you smile, all the pain goes away. Doesn't exist. So how's your pain cave? How's your indoor setup? Are you on a turbo trainer? Are you on rollers? Hardcore. Well done. Are you on a indoor bike? Or are you one of these super duper smart bikes that they've just brought out? Either way, doesn't matter what you're using, as long as you can pedal, it's all good. So I've got quite a smart setup, but it's no diff, the pain's still the same, okay? It doesn't go away. Keep going, right to the end. We don't stop, not yet. And recover. Minutes recovery, you're welcome. So you should be holding a little smidge back when we get to the 900 section. I'll talk you through the challenges ahead. So this is the last track here before your recovery. Going to give you a lovely block of recovery. Try and shift as much lactate out of the muscles as possible before the last challenge, so we can really hit it hard. So make the most of the recovery. Check the position, shoulders back, chest up. So even in the drops, chest should still be up. Remember, not dropped. Keep it up. So on the road, you should be feeling it through your triceps. And 2 minutes 16 of effort. So yeah, if you spend a lot of time in the drops, in fact, it doesn't matter if you're on the top of the handlebars too, keep that little bend in the elbows so that your triceps can work as attenuators when you're riding. So you don't get a hard shock, kind of act as shock absorbers. Also, don't grip the handlebars too hard. Enough to have control, but not too much. So if you can just try it out. If you really grip those handlebars hard, you can feel all the tension start to build up here. So if you've got a really long descent on the bike, you get to the bottom and you kind of go, oh, your shoulders and your neck are really taking the effort. So good indication here, I'm still able to talk, which means I'm working at the right intensity. So if you want to have a little chat to yourself, make sure that you can talk in sentences. You're about the right intensity. Minute to go. And then we're done with this strength and power section. Driving into those pedals nice and smooth, top of the stroke to the bottom. Pedaling circles, not squares. Squares are when you just stamp from the top to the bottom. So as you increase the intensity through the pedals, increase the power, increase the gear, you need to work on keeping that stroke nice and smooth. Are you kind of ready for some recovery? Nearly. Give me 15 seconds. Come on, hold it. You've definitely got this. All the way. Don't cheat. You're only cheating yourself to that last pedal stroke. 4 minutes recovery. Woohoo! How are you feeling? I'm turning over the page. So you've got 2 tracks to recover. Sit up maybe. Release any tension in those shoulders. Shake it out. Hands on your tummy. Big deep breath in. Hands should come out. So On your in-breath, if you're doing this, you're not using your full diaphragm. You need to just relax the shoulders, breathe deep. One last challenge. Now, two options here, folks. Both are pretty tricky. And if you're interested in the smart files, which are available, there are two different versions. First version, so we're threshold climbing as well, just as like we were doing, but with a little bit more intensity. And then you've got 5 optional sprints. So option 1, if you're maybe trying to keep your intensity level down, or your fitness isn't where it needs to be, to do those really high level efforts, you're going to take option 1. So when we come to do the sprints, you're going to have a fair amount of gear on anyway, because you've got climbing gear on. All you're going to do is increase your leg speed with that same gear for 20 seconds. I don't want to see anybody taking the gear down before we do that. Keep that gear on, okay? Option 2, VO2 max sprints, 5 of them. So you're not going to fully recover at all before the next one comes in. So you're going to be piling that lactate into the muscles. And for that option, you're going to add some extra climbing gear and then do the 20-second sprint. So towards the end of the 20 seconds, you should be really feeling it. Please be mindful of those extra heavy gears. As you put that extra gear on, put it on as smooth as you can. Don't overstress the legs. Just bring the foot over the top of the stroke and smoothly does it. Try not to stamp, yep. So still recovering here. Still trying to get the heart rate down. Grabbing some fluids, breathing deep. Everything's good with the world. So 900 seconds of mixer intervals. So we're increasing your heart stroke volume by doing this level of intensity, which is your heart's ability to push blood and oxygen around your body. Okay, they are challenging. If you want to back off today, that's absolutely fine. Just stick with an intensity that you're happy with. Enjoy the music, ride along, and just smile. Less than a minute to go. I'm excited. Are you excited? Are you ready for this? I love these challenging intervals, they're absolutely great. And the good thing about these really structured intervals is that the class goes so quickly. You're going to be done. 15 minutes of climbing with some sprinting before you've even realised. So we start pretty gentle. So you're going to start to increase the gear, slowly starting to feed it in. So a minute. Feel that extra pressure through the feet. So you're just starting to go up that ramp. Your legs might go, whoa, hang on a minute. They kind of do switch off, don't they? So if you've got a long descent, by the time you get to the bottom, your legs are switched off sometimes. So let's keep this intensity going. So we're going to continue with these lactate intervals for the first 2 tracks, and then we're going to drop in those little extra options if you want them. Feeling that extra pressure through the feet. Just want to check in. Everything's controlled, comfortable, ready to go. Are you ready to start the 900 seconds? Now you're all looking down at your computers, aren't you, to try and measure as we're going. Let's go. So 58 seconds exactly, not about, 58. Climbing effort. So just about able to hold on to your nasal breathing here as we go. Are you still with me? I'm not dropping anybody on the mountain. We all make this together. Nice one. About 20 seconds to go. Feeling the heart beating just a little harder. Just bash the mic. Give you a headache. Sorry, everybody there. And recover. 37 seconds. Breathe. Little sip. So starting the next interval in about 15 seconds. Quick check of your heart rate if you're tracking your heart rate. How's your leg speed? Feeling good? Next one coming up. Let's do it. Minute of effort. So you don't have to go down to the drops. You can stay up here onto the hoods. Just wherever you're comfortable. I kind of ride most of the time on my drops. So this is where I tend to train when I'm training by myself indoors, which is quite a lot. Especially given our weather in the UK at the minute, it's not great. It's really hard to get out on the road. Hold it there. Are you having a good workout so far? Are you sweating? Just a little bit. And recover. Just over a minute's recovery. How are you doing? How's that heart rate? Get that control back. So my leg speed for these climbing efforts, so I'm bang on 70 RPM here. Using a good mix of fibres. You might want to go a little bit quicker. So if you've not got a cadence meter, so that's 80 RPM. So you can count 1, 1, 1, 1. And that will give you your leg speed. Going in about 10 seconds. Ready to load the gear for the effort? Let's get it on. Load it. 30 seconds of effort. Looking good. Yeah, you're looking great. Absolutely great. And keeping it smooth. Feeling the pressure, should be challenging. And recover. Minute recovery. Getting that control back. So your heart's not beating really hard in the chest. So, next track is where the fun begins. "20 seconds to go." Another little minute's effort for you. You're welcome. Ready to start loading. Ready to start to feel the extra tension, extra pressure in the feet. And load. How's that pedaling? Started stamping yet? Or are you keeping it smooth? Should look totally effortless. 45 seconds. And breathe. You can do that out on the road, obviously. If you're really struggling on a long climb, just go back to nice deep breathing to get the control. Keep going. Not done. And recover. 45 seconds. So this is really hard. So remember, there's a quick transition coming. So you're going to load, and then I'm just going to say sprint. Up to you if you add gear or if you stay with the same gear but just increase the leg speed. So I'm going to say sprint a few seconds before we go so you can prepare. So the extra gear is going on and we're sprinting in 10 seconds, so get ready for some extra gear if you want it. Otherwise, we're just going to increase the leg speed. And hit it. All out. 20 seconds. If you've got that extra gear on, make sure you're on top of it. Nearly there. And recover. So heart rate's going to go up. It might continue to go up even when you come back down to your recovery phase because there's a lag in your heart rate. How was that? If you could pedal really, really fast and it felt like there was no resistance on the bike, load a little bit extra next time. You've got 4 more chances to get it right. And breathe. Try and get the heart rate down. It is going to get increasingly harder to try and recover. A little bit of an extra section this time before we do the sprint. So ready to load on the extra gear to get your heart rate up. And load. So we're going to be sprinting in about 30 seconds. So you're going to feel this in the legs already. So option 1, remember, keep the same gear, just push a little harder with the leg speed. Option 2, load some more. Load, load, if you want it, and sprint. Think Mark Cavendish, end of a Tour de France stage. Biggest gear we can, generating massive amounts of power, pushing hard. Nearly there, nearly there. And recover. 1 minute 15 recovery. So as I said, you're going to find it harder and harder to try and recover. 3 more sprints to go. How you doing? All good? Still smiling? Always. So, we're not into deep, deep recovery here. It's going to be really challenging. So I'm actually running on my power numbers today. I know my FTP, and I'm currently 75 FTP for the recovery. That is pretty challenging. So make sure you've got the gear on, right? Don't be shy. First gear change coming. A little bit of extra effort on top. Ready? And load. Ready to sprint. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 20 seconds. Power output going up. Up, up, up. Hold it. And recover. Best you can. Hold in there. If you're really, really struggling, just drop the gear just a little bit. Breathe deep. Definitely warm, folks. Oh yes. Not the place to look amazingly pretty. You definitely haven't worked hard enough. Okay, first gear change coming in about 30 seconds. And breathe. Ready to pop on that extra gear, and you're going to hold it there for 30 seconds before the sprint. Ready? Get it on. Let that music lift you up. Keep that effort going. All the way. So, 2 more sprints to go. If you were feeling good without adding in extra gear, maybe add just 1 gear and up it just a little bit. Ready? Load, let's go. Are you grimacing there? Smiling through the pain. Just keep breathing, keep the focus. Keep going all the way. And recover. 1 minute recovery, last track. All ready. It'll be 45 minutes. Breathe, breathe, breathe. How's the tension going in those shoulders? One more to go. Too much fun. I don't want this to be over. Do you want this to be over? No. You could do it all again. So a little word on recovery when we're done here. Are you ready to load the gear? And then it's a quick transition. Load, load, load. Sprint. I think I might have just put an extra sprint in. Oh, I have, but never mind, it's a bonus. Call it a bonus, my little treat from me to you. Every day have a silver lining and release. In fact, my little extra treat for you is the last sprint's 26 seconds long. What's not to love? Quite frankly. So that last sprint's coming up in 30 seconds. Happy accident. All that planning. I kind of like it when that happens. Go a bit rogue. Are you ready? So we're still on that heavy climbing resistance. Last time. Breathe deep. Let's go. 26 seconds. Maybe feeling that lactate. Flood those legs. Amazing. Hold it there. And definitely hold that effort at that intensity. Another 10 seconds. Keep going. Keep going. And release. Hold it there. Lovely. Woohoo! Very proud of you. Are you feeling amazing? Let's recover. Drop the gear. That was a nice little trek out up a few little hills, blowing the cobwebs away. So make sure you've got enough gear on that your bottom isn't bouncing on the saddle. Just a little bit for you to push against. And let that heart rate come right down. So, applause for everybody. If you did that, well done. If you did those extra VO2 max efforts with some extra little gear on, also well done. Nice one. You pushed it pretty hard today. So, question I get asked quite a lot is, how often should I do that class? Well, it kind of depends on the level of intensity, your level of fitness, where you are in your training plan maybe, if you're using a training plan. If you're doing a periodized training plan, you know, what kind of effort was that? Well, if you did it without the VO2 max, you should have been at lactate, so it's a threshold intervals class, which is zone 3, I believe. And maybe that's your tempo. Maybe zone 4. If you did the extra VO2 max intervals at zone 5, and these are Andy Kogan zones, cycling zones, then really you shouldn't be doing these too often. Personally, if I was doing a big anaerobic workout, I would not do that more than once a week. I would make that my high intensity intervals indoor, and then I would be doing longer, slower tempo or endurance rides on the road. So, not the kind of workout you would be doing every day. Really going to stress your body out, and it's going to take time to recover. You've got to get your body a little bit of a pat on the back sometimes. Give it a cuddle. Give it time for the adaptations to take place, to recover, and to get out of the workout what you put in. So your recovery is just as important as your workouts. Got to give your body time to adapt and adjust. How's the heart rate doing? Coming down. Feeling amazing. We're going to keep going with this recovery. So, worked at a very high intensity there. You're going to have a lot of lactate still flooding around in the body. One of the other reasons that we cool down is because of blood pooling. So we're trying to push the blood from the extremities back up to the heart. So very important that you do the cool down. Now, for the purposes of this ride today, I'm only doing about 6 minutes. Okay, if I was doing this ride, I would normally do a 20-minute cool down. So if you've ever had your lactate tested, blood tested, and this is something I might do actually in the future, is do some lactate testing and show how long it takes after a really high effort for your lactate levels to come down. Much longer than you think. Keeping it nice and relaxed. So if you enjoyed our ride today, please leave some comments. Let us know how you got on. Did you find it challenging? I don't want to hear anybody say that was too easy, because you know what I'm going to say. You've got these lovely little features on your bikes. On a road bike, you've got these lovely things called gears. You can add those. If you're on an indoor bike, you can just add that resistance, right? No workout is easy. So another 30 seconds till we're done. It's been a pleasure riding with you today. Got some lovely things planned for you in the future. Let's keep this training going over the winter so you come out in the spring ready to hit the ground running. Not literally, obviously, because that would be really bad. We don't want to be any crashes out there. Big deep breaths. If you want to do your stretches when you get off the bike, just go ahead. So nearly there. I can only imagine how amazing you all look. Fabulous. Remember, keep it going to the last pedal stroke. Every single one counts. Thank you very much, everybody. Till next time.